her voice devoid of any emotion. "You've ruined this day. And don't you ever step foot in this house again." I moved on legs that felt disconnected from my body, each step a monumental effort. I knelt beside Sophie, my hands trembling as I gathered her into my arms. She was breathing, thank God, but in shallow, ragged little pants. Her eyes were closed, and a small cut was bleeding on her forehead from where she had fallen. I stood up, clutching my child to my chest, and I looked at each of them, burning their faces into my memory. My father, still smirking with a sick, self-satisfied pride. Isabel, already scrolling through her phone, utterly bored and indifferent. My mother, her face a mask of stone-cold, unyielding righteousness. Adrian, coolly sliding his phone back into his pocket. And on the porch, Elena, Julian, and Lucas, watching the entire spectacle with a detached curiosity, as if it were nothing more than a television show. I didn't say a word. There were no words left. I carried Sophie to my car, my movements stiff and robotic, carefully buckled her into her car seat, and drove away from that house of horrors, not to our apartment, but straight to St. Mary's Hospital. The moment the ER triage nurse saw Sophie, her professional calm evaporated. She took one look at my daughter's bruised and battered body and immediately called a code, summoning a full trauma team. Within minutes, we were swarmed by a whirlwind of doctors, nurses, pediatric specialists, and a social worker, their faces a mixture of focused urgency and barely concealed horror. They gently cut away her ruined dress, the sound of the shears slicing through the fabric echoing the tearing of my own sanity. A nurse, her hands steady but her eyes filled with tears, meticulously documented every single mark, every bruise, every angry red welt left by the belt. Someone counted 12 distinct impact sites. Another nurse photographed Sophie's injuries, her hands shaking so badly she had to retake several shots. She kept apologizing to me, over and over, as if capturing the evidence made her complicit in the act itself. I reached out and squeezed her shoulder, my voice a hoarse whisper. "You're helping us. Every picture you take is another nail in his coffin." Dr. Helena Fisher, the attending physician, a woman who looked no older than 37 but carried the weary authority of someone who had seen the worst of humanity, gently guided me into the hallway as the team continued their assessment. "Your daughter has sustained significant physical trauma," she stated, her voice devoid of platitudes. "Beyond the obvious contusions and lacerations, I'm extremely concerned about internal injuries. She has a concussion from the impact to her head when she fell. We need to get a CT scanned immediately to rule out any bleeding or swelling in her brain. We're also running tests to check for kidney damage and internal bleeding from the blows to her torso." My knees gave out. The sterile white walls of the corridor swam before my eyes. Dr. Fisher caught my elbow, her grip firm and grounding, and guided me to a chair. "I need you to be strong for her," she said, her tone not unkind, but firm. "Sophie is going to need you to be her anchor through this."